right now, I hate to say this, but it's money that determines now who sits on the boards. And I hate to say that. I hope all of this isn't going to ruin some of this state. Should go out on it because people are still living and didn't want to get into personalities. But I think that, I don't know, I think that women have just had to go ahead and do their own, programs. And like my own started when, we went to the women and we couldn't get no help. But women are the most powerful force now because men, they have just destroyed them. They destroyed the men. They've destroyed our base. So, but yet women are still the majority in the church, and the men, that's their given role. And too many women don't want to challenge it. They don't want to get into it. It's no money. The NACP is not easy to run. There's no money. You got to run to all these chapters around the country. And I think that I would never accept it. Dr. Hyder would never accept it. And I think it's just that women they're getting into more professional roles where they can make real money. They're getting into law, so many in law, and many of them are going into ministry. And I think there are not too many that are really anxious to take over those organizations. Of course, the men are going to promote the men. So women would really have to move in and say it's time.
And there are many, I think, young people today who say that all of these civil rights organizations are obsolete, that they're unnecessary, that, this is from another century, why the struggle is over. Mm-hmm. Let's move on. Mm-hmm. How do you respond to that?
Well, it's over because they're not doing anything. The civil rights movement, now they're doing a lot of things. For instance, they are doing a lot of things, but as far as it affects these young people, they're getting their graduate degrees, and there's so many openings that they can go to that they don't need. They feel they don't need it until they get fired unjustly. Then they look for the NACP. But they don't understand they should continue to support it. And that's where we don't get that support. But we do need to make them conscious of the history of it. And it's there for you if you need it. But they're not making it. The NACP is not aggressively marketing and promoting the NACP. They have their conference, but it's difficult for them now because, too, there's a force cutting back money from them. See, they got some money for, they're getting people registered to vote, but the Republican Party knows they're not going to be pushing them. So therefore, they have cut back funding of these organizations. It takes a lot to run these national organizations. It takes a lot. And it's just difficult, but we've got to support them. And I support them. We must all support the NACP, but our young people, they just need to connect more with their history, and I think your program here is going to help them to do that. They will see the struggle, but they also have to know that if they don't learn from these lessons, they're going to repeat the history of them. They've got to learn that, and I say that over and over again. You've got to learn from this history, and you have to support it. You have to give to it. That's what the Jewish people do. They say they don't recognize anyone because of the kind of car they have or any of that. They recognize them, and they get commendation when they give, and put money in to help their freedom cause.